Imagine this. You walk into a store and sitting on the shelf is a brand new PlayStation 5 Slim. It's smaller, it's lighter, it looks cleaner. And right next to it is the original PS5 that millions of Americans already own. So the question becomes unavoidable. Is the PS5 Slim actually worth upgrading to, or is it just a smaller box selling the same experience? Because in the United States right now, the PS5 is one of the most popular gaming consoles in the country. Millions of households already have one sitting under their TV. And with Sony releasing the Slim version, gamers across the country are asking the same thing. Should I upgrade, or should I save my money? Today, we're diving deep into the PS5 Slim, what actually changed, what stayed the same, and whether this upgrade makes sense for gamers in the US. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly who should buy the PS5 Slim and who definitely shouldn't. And trust me, the answer isn't as obvious as you might think. Let's get into it. First, we need to understand why Sony even released the PS5 Slim in the first place. Because if you remember the original PS5 launch back in 2020, it wasn't exactly smooth. Demand in the United States was insane. Consoles were selling out instantly. Scalpers were flipping them for double the price online. And for months, even years, many Americans simply couldn't find a PS5 anywhere. Fast forward to today, and the situation looks very different. PS5 supply is finally stable across the US. You can walk into stores like Best Buy, Target, Walmart, or order one online without a fight. And that's exactly when Sony decided to introduce the PS5 Slim. This isn't unusual in the gaming world. Historically, Sony releases slimmer versions of its consoles a few years after launch. We saw it with the PS2 Slim, the PS3 Slim, and the PS4 Slim. These models typically use more efficient internal components, cost less to manufacture, and refresh the console lineup without creating an entirely new generation. But the PS5 Slim is a little different, because this time, Sony didn't actually call it Slim. Officially, it's just the new PS5 model. But make no mistake, this is absolutely the Slim version, and the changes are immediately noticeable. The first thing everyone talks about is the size. The original PS5 was massive. Honestly, it looked more like a futuristic router than a console. Many American gamers joked that it barely fit in their entertainment centers. The PS5 Slim fixes that problem. Compared to the launch model, the new PS5 is about 30% smaller in volume and roughly 18% lighter. That might not sound huge on paper, but visually, it makes a big difference. It's still not tiny, but it's noticeably easier to fit under a TV or inside a media cabinet. And if you live in a small apartment, dorm room, or shared living space, which is common for a lot of students and young professionals in the US, that smaller footprint can actually matter. But size isn't the only change. The PS5 Slim also introduces a modular design, and this is where things get interesting. The console now comes in two versions. One version includes the disk drive, just like the original PS5, but the digital version can now have a disk drive added later. Yes, you heard that right. Sony made the disk drive detachable. So if you buy the cheaper digital model today and decide later that you want to play physical games, you can buy a separate disk drive and attach it to the console. For American gamers who still like owning physical copies, which is still a big thing in the US, that flexibility is actually a big deal. But here's the twist. The disk drive isn't cheap. It costs around $80. So if you start with the digital version and later add the drive, you'll actually end up paying slightly more than just buying the disc version in the first place, which raises an interesting question. Is Sony trying to slowly push gamers toward digital games? Because the US gaming market has been shifting heavily toward digital purchases. Many players now download games directly from the PlayStation Store instead of buying discs. Digital sales are more profitable for companies like Sony because they avoid manufacturing and retail costs. So this new modular system might be Sony's way of easing players into an all-digital future. But here's where things get serious. Despite the redesign, the PS5 Slim is almost identical to the original PS5 in terms of power. Same CPU, same GPU, same performance. Games run exactly the same. There's no graphics upgrade, no frame rate boost, no hidden horsepower. If you already own a PS5, Upgrading to the Slim will not make your games look better or run faster. And that's something a lot of people in the US didn't realize when the Slim first launched, because the word new makes it sound like a big improvement, but in reality, it's more of a refinement. However, Sony did make one meaningful improvement: storage. The original PS5 shipped with an 825GB SSD, which translated to roughly 667 GB of usable space after system files. Anyone who owns a PS5 knows how quickly that fills up. Modern games are massive. Call of Duty alone can eat over 150 GB. Spider-Man 2 is huge. NBA 2K, Madden, and other popular games in the US can easily push your storage to the limit. The PS5 Slim increases internal storage to 1 TB. That extra space might not sound dramatic, but it can mean fitting 2 or 3 more big games before needing to delete anything. And for gamers with slower internet, which is still common in some rural parts of the United States, avoiding huge re-downloads can be a big advantage. But here's something many people don't talk about: cooling. The original PS5 had a reputation for being incredibly quiet. Sony built a huge cooling system inside that giant case. With the Slim being smaller, some gamers worried the system might run hotter or louder. But so far, real-world usage shows the difference is minimal. The console still runs cool and quiet for most games. Sony clearly refined the internal design to keep performance stable. Now let's talk about something that affects US gamers more than almost anything else: price. The PS5 Slim launched in the United States at the same price as the original PS5. $500 for the disc version, $450 for the digital version. But remember, the digital model used to cost $400, so technically, Sony raised the price of the digital version by $50, and this sparked a lot of debate online. Many gamers felt like the Slim should have been cheaper, not more expensive, especially considering there's no performance upgrade. But Sony likely made this decision because inflation and manufacturing costs have changed since 2020. And honestly, the PS5 is still selling extremely well in the US, so Sony doesn't have much pressure to lower the price. But here's the part nobody talks about: the PS5 Slim might actually make more sense for new buyers than for existing PS5 owners. Think about it. If you don't already own a PS5, the Slim is basically the same console, just smaller with more storage. So it's objectively the better version to buy. But if you already have the original PS5, the upgrade becomes much harder to justify. You'd be spending hundreds of dollars for a console that plays games exactly the same way. No graphical improvement, no performance boost, no exclusive features, just a smaller shell. And that leads us to one of the biggest questions gamers are asking right now: should you upgrade? For most Americans who already own a PS5, the answer is probably no, unless you absolutely hate the size of your current console, or you're moving into a smaller space where the Slim fits better. But if you're buying your first PS5, then the Slim is absolutely the one to get. However, this entire conversation changes when we talk about the future, because there's another PlayStation model everyone is waiting for: the PS5 Pro. Rumors suggest Sony may release a more powerful PS5 Pro in the near future, a console designed to push higher frame rates, better ray tracing, and stronger graphics for modern TVs. And if that happens, the upgrade path becomes much clearer. Instead of jumping from PS5 to PS5 Slim, many gamers might choose to wait and upgrade directly to the Pro, especially in the United States, where 4K TVs and high refresh rate gaming displays are becoming more common in households. So the Slim might end up serving a different purpose. Instead of being an upgrade, it's more of a replacement model for new buyers. But let's take a step back and look at the pros and cons. On the positive side, the PS5 Slim is smaller, lighter, and easier to fit in entertainment setups. It offers more internal storage, which solves one of the biggest complaints about the original console. The modular disk drive adds flexibility, and for anyone buying their first PlayStation 5 in the United States, it's the most refined version available. But on the downside, the price increase for the digital model frustrated many gamers. There's no performance improvement whatsoever. And for current PS5 owners, the upgrade offers very little practical benefit. Public opinion is divided. Some gamers love the cleaner design and modular approach. Others feel like Sony simply repackaged the same console and called it new. And honestly, both perspectives are valid. But when we look toward the future of gaming, the bigger picture becomes clear. The PS5 Slim is likely just a transitional step. By the end of this decade, the gaming landscape in the United States will look very different. Cloud gaming will continue expanding. Digital purchases will dominate physical sales, and console hardware will likely evolve faster as companies compete for higher performance and immersive experiences. We could see PlayStation hardware pushing toward 8K rendering, AI-assisted graphics, and near-instant game loading. And while the PS5 Slim isn't revolutionary, it helps extend the life of the current generation while Sony prepares for what comes next. So what should you actually do? If you're a student or someone on a tight budget in the US, don't rush to upgrade if you already own a PS5. Save that money for games, accessories, or even the next generation of hardware. If you're a working professional thinking about buying your first console, the PS5 Slim is the most practical option right now. And if you're a serious gaming enthusiast who always wants the latest tech, you might want to wait and see what Sony does with the PS5 Pro, because that upgrade could be far more meaningful. At the end of the day, the PS5 Slim isn't about redefining gaming. It's about refining it, making the console smaller, slightly better, and more flexible for the millions of gamers across the United States who are jumping into the PlayStation ecosystem. But the real question is this: if the games look the same, if the performance is identical, and if your current PS5 already works perfectly, would you actually notice the difference? Or would the Slim just be a new box under the same TV? Let me know what you think. Would you upgrade to the PS5 Slim, or are you waiting for the PS5 Pro? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the future of gaming, make sure to subscribe to TechVibes for more tech stories, insights, and breakdowns just like this. Because the next big shift in gaming might be closer than we think.